Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dhanat Pranams. Thank you all for joining in for our study session today. Let us start with prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddhapatakamalам Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarvana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaur Dushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramanandamadamam Shri Krishna Chaitanyam Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadaliye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramanandamadamam Shri Krishna Chaitanyam Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat Hare Krishna. So then, pronouns to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in. We are on Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter number 22. So 10 more chapters to go. We complete Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Study. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So our next book, like I said, will be the wonderful book which actually dwells into the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is that? The pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the Krishna book. Mostly, I expect the first week of July we will try to start. But there is no hurry, right? We will teachings of Lord Chaitanya. This is a very wonderful book. So we'll complete this reading and then we will start that. So we just made a little bit of change in the number of days. We will do teachings of Lord Chaitanya 3 times a day. And then we'll do Bhagavad Gita on Monday and Tuesday. That also ensures that on the first day of the week, we will get our verse to be memorized also, isn't it? So today I will be sharing the Bhagavad Gita verse for the week that you want to memorize if you don't know already. Contemplate and meditate for this week. Yadya vibhuti matsattvam Srimad Urjitam Eva. Right, wherein Krishna says, all of the opulences are but a spark of my splendor. Mama tejo amsha sambhava, like that he says. Right? So that will be the verse to be studied for this week. And today is Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we will do teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and then Monday, Tuesday, we'll do Bhagavad Gita, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, again we will resume to teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So that's the plan. Let's quickly go on to chapter number 22. Right before that, prayers to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ajanulambita pujau kanakavadato sankirtanaika pitarau kamalayadaksho Vishwambarau Dvijavarau Yugadharma Palau Vande Jagat Priyakarau Karunavataro. Okay, let me share my screen. Yesterday we saw how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted Prakashananda Saraswati was a Mayadi sannyasi, and because this sannyasi was converted, all of the sannyasi's followers also got converted into pure devotional service. That is the potency of the Supreme Personality of God. And also discussed the damage that that Mayavad or any unauthorized philosophy can actually create in our life. That we need to unlearn and then we need to relearn. So it is best to always learn the transcendental subject matters from a proper guru who comes in a bona fide guru parampara. That's what we studied yesterday. And today is a very, very wonderful topic, right? Today's topic is about Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Narayan namaskrityam naranchev narottamam. Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mujirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Simply by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely vanquished. And pure devotional service is established in the heart as an irrevocable fact. That is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why Srila Prabhupada instituted Srimad Bhagavatam study as an everyday feature in every ISKCON temple. Morning 8 to 9 is Srimad Bhagavatam class. Right? So in this way, Srila Prabhupada instituted study of Srimad Bhagavatam as the most important anga of bhakti. Right? That's why it's incorporated all around the world in every ISKCON temple in the morning. So let's go ahead and read chapter number 22. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say about Srimad Bhagavatam? Okay, Sridhar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Chapter 22, Srimad Bhagavatam. After the conversation of Mayavadi sannyasis, after the conversion of Mayavadi sannyasis to the path of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many scholars and inquisitive people visited the Lord at Benares. Since it was not possible for everyone to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at his residence, people stood in lines to see him as he passed on his way to the temple of Vishwanatha and Bindu Madhava. One day, when the Lord visited the temple of Bindu Madhava with his associates, Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara Pranamanta, Tatpana Mishra, Sanatana Goswami, and others, he sang Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Rama Shri Madhusudana. When the Lord is sang in this way, chanting and dancing, thousands of people gathered around him. And when the Lord chanted, they wrote the vibrations. The vibration was the tumblers of Pradakshana Saraswati, Prakashananda Saraswati, who was sitting nearby, immediately joined the crowd with his disciple. As soon as he saw the beautiful body of Lord Chaitanya and saw how he was dancing and with his associates, Prakashananda Saraswati joined and began to sing Hari Hari. All the inhabitants of Banaras were struck with wonder upon seeing the ecstasy dancing of Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya checked his continuous ecstasy and stopped dancing when he saw the Mayavadi sannyasis. As soon as the Lord stopped chanting and dancing, Prakashananda Saraswati fell in his feet. Trying to stop him, Lord Chaitanya said, "Oh, you are the spiritual master of the whole world, Jagat Guru, and I am not even equal to your disciple. You should therefore not worship an inferior like me. For actually, I am not even equal to the disciple on your disciple, who you are exactly like the Supreme Brahman, and I allow you to fall down in my feet. I will commit a very great offense. Although you have no vision of duality for the sake of teaching the people in general, and you should do this." Hare Krishna. Previously, I spoke ill of you many times. Prakashananda Saraswati replied, "Now, in order to free myself from the result of my offense, I fall down in your feet. He then quoted a verse from the Vedic literature which states that even a liberated soul which gain become a victim of material contamination if he commit an offense against the Supreme Lord. Prakashand Sananda Saraswati then quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.34.9 regarding Nanda Maharaj being attacked by a serpent who had previously been worshipable Vidyadhara. When the serpent was touched by the lotus feet of Krishna, he regained his previous body and was free from the reaction of his sinful activities. When
Hare
Lord
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. That is Pranam. So, very wonderful here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply, when he was chanting, Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Madhusudhana Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudhana Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudhana. This is called Nama Kirtana, right? It is there in the songbook, right? So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was singing like this, then Prakashananda Saraswati immediately, of course, it is the voice of the Lord. It is a singing personally by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Prakashananda Saraswati heard it, already his heart was transformed, right? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to him, Vedaischa sarve rahameva vedyo, Vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From all the study of the Vedas, Krishna is to be known. So like that, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave instructions to Prakashananda Saraswati, he was automatically, his heart had changed, isn't it? One of his disciples also told, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever you are saying, right, your interpretation is correct. We are able to very easily understand. We could not understand the interpretation of Shankaracharya. It is very confusing. Like that, when the disciple told Prakashananda Saraswati disciple told Prakashananda Saraswati also agreed to it. So in this way, the Cheto Darpana Marjanam has already happened, right? The cleansing of the heart has happened. So when the cleansing of the heart happens, and what happens? When the Lord is singing the Kirtan, automatically Prakashananda Saraswati is falling down at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and is begging for his various offenses. Right? He told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why are you singing and dancing like a madman? But now he himself is surrendering to the process of the singing by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, he takes shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and calls him the Supreme Lord. Now, till yesterday he was saying, I am also God. And today he is calling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu God. Right? Tomorrow he will call somebody else God. Right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very, very clearly tells him, I am not God. Right? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is God. He is Lord Shri Krishna himself. But then why is he saying, telling Prakashananda Saraswati, I am not the Supreme Lord? Because not everybody every day will get up and say that they exhibit some transcendental symptoms like crying, etc., sing nicely, and then call themselves God. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as a Channa avatar, disguised avatar, to actually tell all of us in this age of Kali how to serve and please the Lord by devotional service, not merely by sentimentalism. Right? When we are singing and dancing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra also, we should know the tattva. What is the tattva? That the tattva is that we are performing the singing and chanting and dancing for the pleasure of the Lord. Why? Because the Lord is so great. The Lord is the supreme cause of all causes. The Lord is my eternal friend. The Lord is my benefactor. The Lord is caring for me much more than even I can care for myself. Because the Lord is situated with me in my heart as Paramatma, not only when I've taken this body, but life after life after life, right? So in this way, when we understand the tattva, about the supremacy of the Lord, the greatness of the Lord, the benevolence of the Lord, the mercy of the Lord, then we do the process that is specified for this age of Kali, which is chanting Hare Krishna. Right? It's not that we are simply dancing and singing because we like to do it. We don't do it because we like to do it. Right? We do it because it is prescribed in the Shastras for this age of Kali. The chanting and singing and chanting and dancing in Hare Krishna Kirtan is the Sankirtan process that is recommended for this age of Kali. Right? Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalo nastyeva 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 gatiranyada. There is no other way to attain perfection other than chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So he's falling down at the feet of the Lord and calling him, you are the Supreme Lord. I've committed offenses against you. Please forgive me, etc. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to protest and say that I am not the Lord. Who is the Lord? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not because I am saying it. Many Like Brahmaji is also saying it, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. So even the Supreme Lord gives the references to the Sadhu, Shastra and Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. Right? Already he told, my spiritual master Ishvara Puri, he told me that I am a fool and I should simply chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So I am chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra according to the instructions of my Guru, not according to my own whims and fancies. And this is what the Supreme Personality of Godhead is saying. He himself is following his Guru. So, and he's now going to give you references from the Shastras also. Why he is not, why he is telling that I am not God, right? We should not believe that everyone and everyone who does such kind of magic and kirtan and ecstatic symptoms is God. But who is God? God is God who is stated in the scriptures. So he's going to declare that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. All right, let's move ahead. Where is it? Yeah. And Lord Chaitanya thus heard himself equated with Krishna. He mildly protested. Okay, Rajneesh Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataye Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dharat Pranam. Did you read
When
now?
Lord,
Or
yes?
did you already read? No, na? First time
No,
you're
no.
reading. Okay,
When
go ahead.
Lord Chaitanya thus heard himself equated with Krishna, he mildly protested. He wanted to warn people in general not to equate the Supreme Lord with any living entity. Although he was the Supreme Lord himself, he protested against the, this comparison in order to teach us. Thus he said that it is the greatest offense to equate anyone with Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna always maintained that Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is infinite, and that the living entities, however great they may be, are but infinitesimal. In
Trying
this
to smell.
connection, he quoted a verse from the Padam Puran, which is found in Vaishnav Tantra, Hari Bhakti Vilas 1.73. A person who equates the Supreme Lord with even the great of demigods such as Brahma and Shiva must be considered a number one atheist. I can understand that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Prakashanand Saraswati continued, and even though you present yourself as a devotee, you are still worshipable because you are greater than all of us in education and faith. Therefore, by blaspheming you, we have committed the greatest offense. Please excuse us. How a devotee becomes the greatest of all transcendentalists is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 6.14. Muktanam Muktanam Siddhanam Narayana Parayanaha Sudurlabha Prasantama Kotisav Api Mahamunta. There are many liberated souls and perfected souls, but out of all of them, he who is a devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead is best. Such a devotee of Supreme Lord is always calm and quiet, and his perfection is very rarely seen. Even among millions of persons, Prakashanand then quoted another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.4.46, in which it is stated that one's duration of life, prosperity, fame, religion, and benediction of higher authorities are all lost when one offends a devotee. Finally, Prakashanand quoted Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.32. This says that although all the misgivings of the conditioned soul disappear at the touch of the lotus feet of God, one cannot touch his lotus feet unless one receives the benediction of the dust of lotus feet of the Lord's pure devotee. In other words, one cannot become a pure devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead unless he is favored by another pure devotee. Now I am taking shelter of your lotus feet, Prakashanand, for I want to be elevated to the position of devotee of Supreme Lord. After talking in this way, Prakashanand Saraswati and Lord Chaitanya said together, whatever you have said concerning discrepancies in the Mayavada philosophy is also known by us. Prakashanand said, indeed, we know that all the commentaries on Vedic subscriptures by Mayavadi are erroneous, especially those of Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya's interpretations of the Vedanta Sutra are all figments of his imagination. You have not explained the affirmations of Vedanta Sutra and verses of the Upanishads according to your imagination, but have presented them as they are. Thus, we are all pleased to have heard your explanation. Such explanation of Vedanta Sutra and Upanishads cannot be given by anyone but the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since you have all the potencies of the Supreme Lord, please explain the Vedanta Sutra further so that I may be benefited. Lord Chaitanya protested against being called the Lord.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay. So thank you, Prabhu. So here, what is it? Prakashananda Saraswati again he's telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that who can give such a wonderful explanation of the Vedanta Sutra? Vedanta Sutra. Yesterday only we said, what is Vedanta Sutra? Srimad Bhagavatam is only Vedanta Sutra. Veda Anta, that means conclusion of the Vedas. Sutra means a summary. Summary of the conclusion of all the Vedic literatures is what was composed by Veda Vyas in the mature period of his life, right? He had divided the Vedas into the four Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. He had written Mahabharata, right? Everything he had done, right? But then he was still dissatisfied, right? But then later on he found out, he was advised by Narada Muni that you have not adequately glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then in this way, he starts writing the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is in his maturity, Prabhupada says in one of his lectures. So actually, Veda Vyasji actually wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam at the maturity, right? When all the knowledge is obtained, you write, you give your best work when you're completely in maturity, when you've got enough experience, etc. Even in the material world, we see. So, like that, in the maturity of his understanding of the transcendental, of course, he is the literal incarnation of the Lord. But it is said just to prove that Srimad Bhagavatam is the most Amala Puran, it is called, right? So that is the best work of Veda Vyasji because he wrote it in this maturity. So that is the Veda Anta Sutra, right? The sutra which gives the conclusions of all the Vedas is Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And this Prakashananda Saraswati is now telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that who can give an explanation of the Vedanta Sutra so beautifully in such a way that that it is converting all of the Mayavadis into devotees, right? Such a person can only be the Supreme Lord. So I am assured, I am convinced that you must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead because you have converted all of us who are Mayavadis. You have converted us to understand the actual essence of the Vedanta, the actual essence of the conclusion of the Vedas, like that. Okay. Now again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is protesting, right? He doesn't want to be called God. Only Mukunda Datta was allowed to call, right? Everybody else who calls Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are the same as Lord Shri Krishna. He would just close his eyes, ears, and say Vishnu, 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 like that, right? Just to ensure that nobody is bewildered and or call themselves God, like that. Okay. Okay. Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. Lord Chaitanya protested.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Mataji.
Lord Chaitanya, Haribol Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Chaitanya protested against being called the Supreme Lord. My dear sir, I am an ordinary living entity. I cannot know the real meaning of the Vedanta Sutra, but Vyasadeva, who is an incarnation of Narayana, knows its real meaning. No ordinary living entity can interpret the Vedanta Sutra according to his mundane conceptions. In order to curb commentaries on the Vedanta Sutra by unscrupulous persons, the author himself, Vyasadeva, has already commented upon the Vedanta Sutra by writing Srimad Bhagavatam. In other words, the best explanation of a book is written by the author himself. No one can understand the author's mind unless the author himself discloses the meaning of his words. Therefore, the Vedanta Sutra should be understood through Srimad Bhagavatam, the commentary written by the author of the Vedanta Sutra. Pranava or Omkara is the divine substance of all the Vedas. Omkara is further explained in the Gayatri Mantra, exactly as it's explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam, there are 4 verses written in this connection, and these were explained to Brahma by Lord Krishna himself. In his turn, Brahma explained them to Narada, and Narada explained them to Vyasdeva. In this way, the purport of the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam has come down through disciplic succession. It is not that anyone and everyone can make his own foolish commentary on the Vedanta Sutra and mislead his readers. Anyone who wants to understand the Vedanta Sutra must read Srimad Bhagavatam carefully. Under the instructions of Narad Muni, Vyasdeva compiled Srimad Bhagavatam with the purpose of explaining the aphorisms of the Vedanta Sutra. In writing Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasdeva collected all the essence of the Upanishad, the purpose of which was also explained in the Vedanta Sutra. Srimad Bhagavatam is thus the essence of all Vedic knowledge. That which is stated in the Upanishads and restated in the Vedanta Sutra is explained very nicely in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
So
The first two, the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it actually takes, it is a postgraduate study. Prabhupada says it's a graduate study from Bhagavad Gita, right? So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, right? Sarva Dharman. So what is the dharma that we need to give up? And that's how our Bhagavatam starts. Janmadhyasya Yaton Vitratas Charteshu Vignaswarat Tene Brahma Hriday Adi Kaviye Muyanti Yat Surya. Right? So in that, Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam. Kaitava Dharma. That is what? What is Kaitava Dharma? Kaitava Dharma is cheating religion. What is cheating religion? The 4 Purusharthas are cheating religions. What is that? Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Why? Because we perform our duty, but not for the pleasure of the Lord, but to attain wealth or to attain name, fame, glory, or for whatever reason. That is not the ultimate objective of performing dharma. Artha means desire for wealth, right? Kama means fulfillment of all our desires, and ultimately, Prabhupada says the greatest level of sense gratification is moksha, where we want to get out of this material miseries. We want to be situated in a platform where we are very, very happily situated. We cannot be happily situated in this world, but we want to be transcendental to the miseries, transcendental to the frustrations, transcendental to the worries of this material world, right? Prabhupada says that is the 4th Purushartha, but that is also not the real Purushartha. The correct Purushartha, which is transcendental to all of these 4, which also is entitling us to this body only, right? That is the 5th Purushartha, which is devotional service, bhakti unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? And that is what is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Srimad Bhagavatam Pramana Mamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Srimad Bhagavatam can give us Krishna Prema. That is why everyday study of Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a bona fide guru, or we study Srimad Bhagavatam after hearing. Generally, Pathanam is not mentioned. Shravana Kirtana, Smarana Vandana, Pada Sevana Dasya, Pujana Sakijana, Atma Nivedana, Govinda Dasa Abhilashare. Right? Beautiful song. Prahlad Maharaj says that Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnum Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Mandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmani Vedanam. There's no Patanam. So why are we Patanam? Why are we studying? Right? It is said that Shravanam, whatever we hear, and then we have to do Patanam. Then only that is called Mananam. That means we are going through what we have heard by studying Srila Prabhupada's purports. And then what happens? Nididhyasanam. Right? We try to implement what we have heard and read in our life. That is only, then only it has got some value. Right? We are not here to time pass or to do recreation, right? मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है 1 घंटा सुन लेते हैं, right? That's not the purpose, right? That's how we started. It's always wonderful to hear the pastimes of the Lord, but we don't want to stay there. We want to hear more about Krishna because we want to increase our love for Krishna, right? So that's why it is said, Srimad Bhagavatam Pramana Mamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan. So why are we studying Srimad Bhagavatam? Why is Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Puran? Because it can give Prema Pumarto Mahan, the greatest of all the Purusharthas, which is Krishna Prema, can be obtained by studying Srimad Bhagavatam under a bona fide guru. Right? Aradhya Bhagavan Rajesha Dhanayas Tadham Vrindavanam Ramya Kachet Upasana Vrajavadu वर्गेण वा कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतं प्रमाणममलं प्रेम पुमर्तो महान् श्रीचैतन्य महाप्रभुर्मतमिदं तत्र धरना परा. So Srimad Bhagavatam is telling this. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanya. So right, worship Vrajendra, Krishna, Vraja Indra, right? Who's Indra means controller, right? Who's the controller of Vraja? It is Nanda Maharaj, right? Vraja Isha Tanaya. Tanaya means the son of Nanda Maharaj. Who's that? Krishna, who's situated in Vrindavan, right? Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya Sadham Vrindavanam. Where he lives? Vrindavan Dham. Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadu. What is the best form of worship? What the gopis do. Right, to Vrindavan Krishna. That is the best form of worship. And how do they worship? They don't know. They've not studied verses of Bhagavatam. They don't memorize Bhagavatam shlokas. Right? They have this unconditional love and surrender completely to Krishna. So that is prema, Krishna prema. Prema Pumarto Mahan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatra Dharana Para. Right? Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. Right? Prema Pumarto Mahan. Just by studying Srimad Bhagavatam under a bona fide guru, we will get prema, we will get Krishna prema. And this is the opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says there's nothing better than this. This is the highest. Right? So this Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedic knowledge, is the opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is non-different from Krishna himself. Right? What better, what more authentication that we want. Right? It's told by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that is more than enough for any kind of verification or confirmation. Okay. All right, let's move ahead. There is also a verse. Monimala Mataji, go ahead. Monimala Mataji, are you able to unmute yourself? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, Madhurima Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
There is a verse in the Ishopanishad similar to one found in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 1, Slok number 10, which states that whatever one sees in the cosmic manifestation is but the Supreme Lord's energy and is non-different from him. Consequently, he is the controller, friend, and maintainer of all living entities. We should live by the mercy of God and take only those things which are allowed to us according to our particular living condition. In this way, by not encroaching on another's property, one can enjoy life. In other words, the purport of the Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, and Srimad Bhagavatam is one and the same. If one studies Srimad Bhagavatam carefully, he will find that all the Upanishads and the Vedanta Sutra are nicely explained therein. Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us three subjects: how to re-establish our eternal relationship, and how to re-establish our eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord, how to act in that relationship, and lastly, how to achieve the highest benefit from it. The four Srimad Bhagavatam verses beginning with the Aham Evasam Evagre, Canto 2, Chapter 9, Shlok 33 to 36 are the gist of the whole
33, 34, 35, 36 of second canto, 9th chapter. This is the Chaturshloki verses of Bhagavatam that we recite this every day in the morning. I'm not sure if devotees are following that daily recitation of prayers. So this is what we do: Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mangalacharan prayers. And we start with Nityananda Prabhu's 12 names, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's 12 names. Then we go to Bhagavad Gita Chaturshloki verses, Bhagavatam Chaturshloki verses, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mangalacharan prayers. And then we go on to the two verses given by Prabhupada on the glories of the holy name. Right? Srimad Bhagavatam 10.1.4 and Namashtakam verse number 1. Right? Nikhila Shruti Mauli Rattamala Jyoti Nirajita Pada Pankajanta Ayamukta Gule Rupasamanam Paritastvam Harinama Samshrayami. Right? Taking shelter of the holy names of the Lord, understanding the glories of the Lord. Where Prabhupada said, if somebody chants these two verses regularly, they will get Krishna Prem. They will get taste in chanting Hare Krishna. These two verses we chant and then we do the song every day one Vaishnava bhajan. So if you've been following that, you will know that 2.9.38 to 36 is actually Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Are the gist of the whole Bhagavatam. These are nicely summarized by Lord Chaitanya as follows. I, Krishna, am the supreme center for the relationships of all living entities, and knowledge of me is the supreme knowledge. The process by which a living entity can attain me is called abhideya. By it, one can attain the highest perfection of life, love of Godhead. When one attains love of Godhead, his life becomes perfect. The explanation of these four verses is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, and Lord Chaitanya gave a short description of the principles of these verses. He said that by mental speculation or academic education, no one can understand the constitutional position of the Supreme Lord, how he is situated, his transcendental qualities, his transcendental activities, and his six opulences. These can be understood only by the mercy of the Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, one who is fortunate enough to receive the Lord's favor can understand all these explanations by the mercy of the Lord. The Lord existed before the material creation. Therefore, the material ingredients, nature, and the living entities all emanated from him. And after dissolution, they rest in him. When the creation is manifest, it is maintained by him. Indeed, whatever manifestation we see is but a transformation of his external energy. When the Supreme Lord withdraws his external energy, everything enters into him. In the first of the four verses, the word aham is given 3 times to stress that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is full with all opulences. Aham is stated 3 times just to chastise one who cannot understand or believe in the transcendental nature and form of the Supreme Lord. The Lord,
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, aham mevasamevagre na anyad yatsat param paschat aham yadi tacha yovasishyeta sosmya aham. Right? 3 ahams is there. Right? Aham mevasamevagre. Right? I was there before creation. I am there maintaining the entire world. And I am only there after creation also. Aham mevasamevagre na anyad sadasat param. Paschat aham. Right? Even after the entire world is annihilated, I am only there. Paschat aham yadi tacha yo vasishyeta sosmya aham. Like the 3 ahams are there. That means Krishna is saying, I existed before, I am the maintainer, I am existing afterwards. Right? So there's no confusion. Right? Because Mayavadis, they say that when Krishna appears in this world, he also becomes a situation. He also becomes illusioned by Maya. And then later on, he'll become God. Right? Then that means who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Maya Devi. Right? But then that's not the real understanding, right? Because Maya Devi is Krishna's energy. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maya Devi is Krishna's energy. It's very difficult to overcome Maya Devi, but if you surrender to Krishna, we'll be able to overcome the illusions of Maya. So that is the understanding here. That is what is given. These 4 verses were actually explained by Krishna to Brahmaji. Right? Even if you, it's very interesting to see that even the Chaturshloki verse of Bhagavad Gita, 10.8, that also starts with aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma budabhava samanvitaha. Everything emanates from me. I am the source of the material and spiritual creations. Right? The people who know this, who understand this, worship me with all their hearts. Isn't it? So aham, Krishna is saying so many times, aham, I am the creator, I am the enjoyer, I am the bhoktaram. Yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. I am the sarvaloka maheshwaram. But yet, it is a bewildering to all those people who want to have their own mental concoctions. But for those who are very clear to accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then they understand the 3 tattvas which are most essential. Sambandha tattva, I am the servant of the Supreme Lord. Abhideya tattva, Shravanam to Atma Nivedanam process, and Prayojana tattva, which is Krishna Prema. That will come in stages automatically when we engage in the process of understanding who the Lord is and also engaging in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so now let's ask Monimala Mataji. Monimala Mataji, you're able to unmute yourself? Mataji, you're not audible. I think there's some issue with your mic. Please check it out. Okay, Sudha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
The Lord possesses his internal energy, his external marginal and relative energies, and the manifestation of the cosmic world and the living entities. The external energy is manifested by the qualitative modes, gunas of material nature. One who can understand the nature of the living entity in the spiritual world can actually understand Vedyam or perfect knowledge. One cannot understand the Supreme Lord simply by seeing the material energy and the conditioned soul, but when one is in perfect knowledge, he is freed from the influence of the external energy. The moon reflects the light of the sun, and without the sun, the moon cannot illuminate anything. Similarly, this material cosmic manifestation is but the reflection of the spiritual world. When one is actually liberated from the spell of the external energy, he can understand the constitutional nature of the Supreme Lord. Devotional service to the Lord is the only means for attaining Him, and this devotional service can be accepted by everyone and anyone in any country and under any circumstance. Devotional service is above the four principles of religion, culminating in liberation. Actually, even the preliminary process of devotional service are transcendental to liberation, the highest subject of ordinary religion. Therefore, irrespective of one's caste, creed, color, country, etc., one should approach a bona fide spiritual master and hear from him everything about devotional service. The real purpose of life is to revive our dormant love of God. Indeed, that is our ultimate necessity. However, that love of God can be attained is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. There is theoretical knowledge and specific or realized knowledge, and perfect realized knowledge is attained when one realizes the teachings received from the spiritual master. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Right? The Supreme Personality of Godhead can be understood only by the mercy of a spiritual master and cannot be understood without his mercy. Okay, let's move forward. Next chapter. Next chapter is also very related. Why study the Vedanta Sutra? Okay, Deval Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Tanvat Pranam.
Yes, please.
Chapter 23, Why Study the Vedanta Sutra? Knowledge is information gathered from the scriptures, and science is practical realization of that knowledge. Knowledge is scientific when it is gathered from the scriptures through the bona fide spiritual master, but when it is interpreted by speculation, it is mental concoction. By scientifically understanding the scriptural information through the bona fide spiritual master, one learns by one's own realization the truths of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The transcendental form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is different from material manifestations, and it is above the reactions of matter. Unless one scientifically understands the spiritual form of the personality of Godhead, one becomes an impersonalist. The example comparing the Lord and the material manifestations to the sun and the sunshine is often given. The sunshine in itself is illumination, but an illumination is different from the sun. Yet the sun and the sunshine are not differently situated. For without the sun, there can be no sunshine, and without sunshine, there is no meaning to the word sun. Unless one is freed from the influence of the material energy, he cannot understand the Supreme Lord and his different energies. Nor can one who is captivated by the spell of material energy understand the spiritual form of the Supreme Lord. Unless there is realization of the transcendental form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no question of love of God. And without love of God, there is no perfection of human life. Just as the five gross elements of nature, namely earth, water, fire, and ether, are both within and without all living beings in this world. And the Supreme is both inside and outside this existence. And those who are his devotees can realize this. Pure devotees know very well that they are meant to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that all things that exist constitute the means by which they can serve the Lord. Therefore, because a pure devotee has been blessed by the Supreme Lord, from within the core of his heart, wherever he looks, he sees the Lord and nothing more. Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 55th verse, confirms this relationship between the pure devotees and the Supreme Lord as follows. Yes, Mataji, can you please recite the verse? Hare Krishna.
विसृज्यति हृदयं न यस्य साक्षात् धरीरवशा विहितो अभिगौ गणाशः प्रणयारशनया धृताङ्घ्रिपद्मः स भवति भागवत प्रधान उक्तः.
Hare Krishna. If a person's heart is always tied to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord with the rope of love, the Lord does not leave him. Indeed, even if his remembrance is not perfect, he is to be considered a first-class devotee. An example of this is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 30th chapter, 4th verse. When the gopis assembled for their rasa dance with Krishna, Krishna apparently left them. Consequently, they began to chant the holy name of Krishna and, being overwhelmed with madness, inquired about Krishna from the flowers and creepers in the forest. Krishna is like the sky. He is situated everywhere. Therefore, by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we can learn about our eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord, understand the procedure for regaining Him, and attain the ultimate realization, which is love of Godhead. Next, Lord Chaitanya explained to Prakashananda Saraswati how can one achieve the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotional service. First, the Lord quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 14th chapter, 21st verse, in which Krishna says that he can be realized only through devotional service executed with faith and love. Indeed, it is devotional service alone which purifies the heart of the devotee and elevates him to the ultimate realization, by which he serves the Supreme Lord with faith and love. Even if one is born in a low family, like is a family of chandalas, dog eaters, one can become filled with transcendental symptoms through realization of the supreme stage of love of Godhead. These transcendental symptoms are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 3rd chapter, 31st verse. Sorry, Mataji, please recite Hare Krishna.
Smarantah smarayantascha mito gaugaharam harim bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya prati utpulakam tanum.
Hare Krishna. When pure devotees discuss subjects dealing with the Supreme Lord, who can cleanse all kinds of sinful reactions from the heart of his devotee, they become overwhelmed with ecstasy and display different symptoms due to their devotional service. The Bhagavatam 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 40th verse also states, when pure devotees chant the Lord's holy name due to their spontaneous attachment for the Lord, they sometimes cry, sometimes laugh, sometimes dance, sometimes sing, and so on, and not caring for any social convention. We should understand, therefore, that Srimad Bhagavatam is a real explanation of the Brahma Sutra, for it is compiled by the same author, Vyasadeva himself. In the Garud Purana, it is said, Arthoyam Brahma Sutranam. Yes, ma'am.
Artha vinirnaya gayatri bhashya rupasau vedhartha paribramhitah grantoshtadasha sahasraha Srimad Bhagavata vidah.
Srimad Bhagavatam is authorized explanation of the Brahma Sutra, and it is a further explanation of the Mahabharata. It is the explanation of the Gayatri Mantra and the essence of all Vedic knowledge. This Srimad Bhagavatam, containing 18,000 verses, is known as the explanation of all Vedic literature. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the sages of Naimisharanya asked Suta Goswami to explain the essence of Vedic literature. In answer, Suta Goswami presented Srimad Bhagavatam as the essence of all the Vedas, histories, and other Vedic literatures. Elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 13th chapter, 15th verse, it is clearly stated that Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the Vedanta knowledge, and that one who relishes the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam has no taste for studying any other literature. In the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, the purport of the Gayatri Mantra is described, I offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Truth. Thus, from the first verse, Srimad Bhagavatam deals with the Supreme Truth, which is described in the Bhagavatam as a source of the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. Obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Vasudeva, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, directly indicate Lord Sri Krishna, who is the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is more explicitly presented later in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 3rd chapter, 28th verse, where Vyasadeva asserts that Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and that all others are either his direct or indirect plenary portions or portions of those portions. Srila Jiva Goswami has still more explicitly developed the subject in his Krishna Sandarbha, and Brahma, the original living being, has substantially explained the subject of Sri Krishna in his treatise Brahma Samhita. The Samaveda also verifies the fact that Lord Sri Krishna is the divine son of Devaki. In his prayer, Srimad Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Dandavat Pranam. So this is very wonderful, isn't it? Wherein the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam was explained in great detail, right? The one that we saw, right? Satyam Param Dhimahi, right? That's how the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam actually glorifies the supreme absolute truth, right? And then 1.3.28, what is that? Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Ete Chamsha Kalapumshaha, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Everyone else is Amsha or Amshaha. They are the Amshas, means they are the parts and parcels, right? They are the expansions of the Supreme Lord. But Krishna is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Everyone else is an expansion or is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or is a plenary portion or the portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Krishna. And Brahma Samhita also, Brahmaji says the same thing. Brahma is our Param Guru. What is he saying? Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govindaha Sarva Karana Aranam. So in that way, Brahmaji also glorifies Lord Shri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the cause of all causes, and who does not have a cause himself, right? Because he is the original cause of all causes. Okay, now we will ask Nagamani Mataji to read, and then we will end our session today at 1:30. Let me share my screen. I saw somebody's hand was up. I think Dushavanu Kanya Mataji. Okay, Nagamani Mataji, go ahead. Are you able to unmute yourself?
Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Bol, long time
Hare
no
Bol
see.
to all. No, every day I am there, Mataji.
Okay. So sorry. You know, I think after a long time you're reading. Okay, maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In this prayer, Srimad Bhagavatam, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam, first purposes that Lord Shri Krishna is the proposes Lord Shri Krishna, primeval Lord, and if any transcendental summon, what is that, Mataji?
Nomenclature means that the usual term that is used, right? We use the terms Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's called nomenclature. The way in which a particular thing is addressed, like that. Yeah.
Okay. Nomenclature for the absolute personality of Godhead is to be accepted. Mataji, cover ho gaya. Accepted. He is the original personality of Godhead, and this was confirmed by the Arjuna, who cited great sages like Narada and many others. Also in the Padma Purana, it is stated that of the
innumerable names of the Lord.
Innumerable nature of the Lord. The innumerable nature of the Lord. Mataji, cover ho gaya.
Innumerable names of the Lord. The name
Innumerable
Krishna
names
is the
of the Lord. And the principal one. Therefore, though the name Vasudeva indicates the plenary portion of the personality of the divine son of Vasudeva,
of Godhead, and although the different forms of the Lord are identical with Vasudeva, in this text, Vasudeva principally indicates the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Okay, Mataji, I think you are finding it difficult to read from the mobile, right?
या वो थोड़ा आगे पीछे करना पड़ता है, स्क्रॉल हो जाता है. Shri Krishna.
So you can either have the book with you, or you can open the database in your mobile, right? You are not able to share screen से आपको नहीं दिखेगा. तो नेक्स्ट टाइम आप ना अपने इसमें डेटाबेस खोल लीजिए या फिर बुक रख के पढ़िए माताजी, तभी आपको इजी रहेगा.
ओके माताजी. हाँ, थोड़ा वो साइड में कवर हो जाता है, उसको थोड़ा सा वो करना. Shri Krishna is always meditated upon by the Paramahamsas, those who are most
perfect in the renounced order of life.
Most perfect in the renounced order of life, Vasudeva and Lord Shri Krishna is the Mataji, कुछ आ गया बीच में.
माताजी कुछ आएगा, आपको बुक रखना है या फिर क्या रखना है, डेटाबेस खुद से खोलना है ना. मोबाइल से आप नहीं पढ़ पाओगे माताजी, डिफिकल्ट है आपको. So the last line I will read it. Shri Krishna is always meditated upon by the Paramahamsas, those who are most perfect in the renounced order of life. Or Lord Shri Krishna is the cause of all causes, and everything that exists is an emanation from him. How this is so explained is given in the later chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is he doing? He is just giving us a summary of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is contained in Srimad Bhagavatam? Why everybody should read Srimad Bhagavatam? Why Srimad Bhagavatam is the is the Puranam, is the Prema Pumarto Mahan. Why is it said to be that that particular book which we can give us Krishna Prema? And because it describes Krishna as the most attractive, right? There are different names for Krishna, right? Govinda, Madhava, Sridhara, Rishikesha, Padmanabha, Damodara, Vasudeva. So many names. Then there is also, the Dharanidhara, right? Kshirabdishena, like that also names are there. But it is said to be amongst the primary names and secondary names of Krishna. That is Dharanidhara means one who maintains this entire world. Those names are secondary names. What are the primary names? Primary names are Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva, right? Then Rishikesha, who is the master of the senses. Then Govinda, who gives pleasure to the cows and the senses. Then Krishna means all attractive, right? Govinda, Gopala, one who tends the cows, right? These names are especially related to the leelas that the Lord performs in Vrindavan Dham. These are the primary names. Out of all the primary names, it is said that the word which is most appropriate for Krishna is Krishna himself. Why? Because Krishna is most attractive, right? Why is he attractive? Because he is Bhagavan. He has this natural affinity, he can attract everybody towards him. But unfortunately, we have made our heart so hard-hearted that we are not able to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then I have to render service to the Supreme Lord. All that is covered in our heart because of our anarthas, right? Otherwise, there is a natural, Krishna is so beautiful, Krishna is so famous, Krishna is so knowledgeable, right? He spoke the entire Bhagavad Gita in 45 minutes. Right, Krishna, and even in this material world, we are attracted to all those people who have fame, who have name, who have a lot of wealth, who have a lot of knowledge, who have a lot of strength, etc., etc. Shah Rukh Khan or Amitabh Bachchan or Saina Nehwal, whoever it may be, right? All the famous people, all the people who are having this extraordinary strength, knowledge, fame, etc. We are attracted towards them. So we have to naturally be attracted to Krishna because Krishna is the source of all the strength. That is also the verse that you're going to study today, right? Mama Tejo Amsha Sambhava, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, right? Whatever opulence you see in this material world, you should understand is but a spark of my splendor. And why are we not getting attracted to Krishna? You should get attracted to Krishna. Then you have to self-introspect. What is the name? What is my conditioning? What is wrong with me? What have I filled in my heart that I am not able to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead? How do I clear my heart? How do we do that? By chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then as we cleanse our heart, we will understand the Bhagavata Mahima, the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam, the glory of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling this Srimad Bhagavatam as Amala Puran, as Prema Pumarto Mahan. So with this, we will conclude for today. We will continue from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described Srimad Bhagavatam as a spotless Puran. Why? Because it describes the wonderful leelas of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So with that, we will end our session today. And tomorrow we will continue with chapter number 23. As we finish chapter 23, go to 24. And then we go on to chapter 32. And then we'll go on to Krishna book. So it's a plan. With the grace of Guru and Gauranga, let's see how we are able to actually perform this plan for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. So we'll have Harinam Sankirtan. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govindara Sri Madhusudhana Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita Nirup Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Nitai Gorango Nitai Gorango Nitai Gorango Bolo Gaurahari Jai Shachi Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Devi Teja Tunyavadi Paschatya Shodharine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadama, Jaya Sudarshana, Jaya Balagopal, Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Shama Sundar, Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe Radhe, Radhe 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 Radhe, Shri Radhe, Jaya Sadgoswami. Jai Guru Parampara, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Guru Deva Nitai, Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद, हरि हरि बोल. Hare Krishna. So I thank all the 20 devotees for kindly staying back till the end. I'm seeing Shobha Mataji, Munimala Mataji, Sridhar Prabhu, Harjit Mataji, Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, Anusha Mataji, Shubhangi Keshwari Mataji, Ramya Mataji, Rohini, Rajneesh Prabhu, Madhurima Mataji, Sudha Mataji, Nav Kishori Mataji, Manasi Mataji, Deval Mataji, Madhvi Mataji. Okay, now Nav Kishori Mataji switched on for darshan. Thank you. Anjana Mataji, Nagaveni Mataji ki jai, Pratinya Mataji. Thank you all for joining in. Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada Shri Gurudev ki jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you all for joining in for our TLC study session. We want to study TLC and then we want to go on to Krishna book. So, seeing, I think Krishna is also desiring that we should start Krishna book because generally we finish only one chapter in a class. But today, by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, we could cover a little bit of the next chapter also. So let's see how it goes. And let's see how far we are able to start Krishna book. We are dependent on the Lord. What the Lord wants, we will do. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaviccha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय. नीता गौर प्रेमानंदे. Hare Hare. Thank you very much. So meet you all tomorrow morning 5 o'clock. Brahma Muhurta chanting, very very important. I'm posting in the daily chanting group every day because I'm not seeing our regular participants now. I don't know what is the reason. So please do join in for our early morning chanting session. And many new today there were close to 30 participants in our Brahma Muhurta chanting session. So I don't know whether I missed checking out because when I took the screenshot, it was like very very new people. That is also very nice, but we want our old timers also to lead the way. Please to join us at least for some time. Maybe I would have missed. I because I take a snapshot only like once in in the 3 hours that we are together. Not 3 hours, 5 to 7:15. That's what is the time that is we've set now. Because some devotees said they are able to join later only. So even if you are joining in, stay at around 6:30, 6:45 also, right? We can do some rounds together till about 7:15, right? So in that way, please do join in at least for a couple of rounds in the morning. They can chant together. They say those who dance together, advance together. Those who something like that is there. So those who chant together also advance together in devotional life. So please do join us at 5 a.m. Indian Standard Time, 5 to 7:15 a.m. for our chanting session, and then of course 12:30 p.m. for our study session for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. Thank you.